Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Welcome to the CHERIE MERCADO podcast. At ngayon, meron tayong isang guest na kumakanta siya. There's a lot of things about her that we want to discover today, and we're going to discover it together. Kasi I try also not to ask a lot of questions beforehand para we can get to know our guests, no? Sabay-sabay, no? Together, we'll try to get to know Miss Lilac Cana. Hi, Lilac.
Hi, Cherry.
Simulan natin with, tell us a little bit about yourself first.
So I call myself a hybrid. I'm a creative financial.
That's a good balance between
Yes.
the right and the left brain, right?
That's right. So it's not just about what I do, but also in my philosophy about life. So first off, I was born in Cebu. My family came here to Canada when I was 8 years old. And so I practically grew up here in Toronto.
Right.
And
Toronto, when they moved here, you were
Yeah,
already in Toronto.
We moved
Okay.
to Toronto, downtown Toronto, and then later on we moved to Mississauga. And then when I was on my own, I went back to Toronto. Since then, I've also lived in Austria. When I was studying for my musical studies in Graz, Austria, and also lived in New York. And then since then, I've been going back and forth to the Philippines and doing tours.
So you mentioned you're Cebuana.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to lose, because my mom is Cebuana.
Oh,
I'm trying not to lose I'm not that fluent, but the few Visayan words and phrases
Yes.
that I know. Can you greet them or to speak in Bisaya? You can still speak in Bisaya?
maayong hapon sa tanan, mga higala diri sa Toronto, Canada. Ako si Lilac Cana nga natawog yun sa Cebu, unya Bisaya, bisdak.
What is bisdak again?
It's like a slang word for like
Bisaya.
a big dako. Dako is the
Bisdako.
word for
Yeah, big.
like a grand big, proud to be sort of Bisaya, right?
Oh, that's what bisdak
Bisayang
is.
dako.
So I'm a proud Visayan.
Yes.
Oh, I can also claim that maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I'm not very fluent in Bisaya, but I love hearing the language.
Yes.
It reminds me so much of my childhood and listening to my aunts and my mom.
Where did you go? Where did they come from? Which part of the Visayas?
They were just in Cebu, Gordo
Cebu.
Avenue in Cebu
Cebu
proper.
talaga.
But they
Yeah.
were born in Barugo, Leyte.
Oh, okay.
And then they moved to Cebu when they were a little bit older, and then again to Manila
Yeah.
to study law school for my mom.
Yeah.
So it brings back wonderful memories, and there's something very, very unique about Cebuanos. I'm not sure if I can generalize this way, but at least from my relatives, and I kind of see it in you. Like they can be very malambing, they can be very mellow, but don't get them angry.
No, don't.
Yeah, you're gonna hear an earful. A little bit maybe about your childhood and the days in school, like
Yeah.
before you became the singer that you are now.
Absolutely. Well, I had a very happy childhood. I'm so grateful for that. For my parents, I have two brothers. We're a very close-knit family. And before I went to school in Cebu still, between the ages up until age 5, my parents would leave me with my grandparents on my dad's side, which is in the province, sa probinsya ng Cebu. And those are some of my happier memories, right? Like, my late grandmother is very rural, the smells, the sights, like I didn't know how to do it, but I was just, I remember memories of her making sikwate. Like
Thick
the
chocolate,
tablea,
the
and
tablea.
then and then also the corn after the harvest. We would go up to the mountains where the neighbors were milling the corn, and then yung I forget the name of it, but at nighttime when people daob, right? I don't know in Tagalog, but the burning the leaves, right? And then
Magsisiga.
the sea. Like
Yeah.
I love to swim. I love the ocean. My father was a scuba instructor, actually.
Oh.
So at an early age, the kids every weekend, our family would go to the beach. And back then, the beaches were so clean in Cebu. Talisay,
Right.
and just, spend the day there with food and then take a nap and then swim again.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah. And so that's something I miss. Like, although I love Canada, there's nothing like the sea, right? And then we came here, and it was a huge switch, right? Because we were well off. I mean, we were comfortable. I remember, katulong and driver, and we had a business. We were, if it weren't for the political situation at that time, we stayed, we would probably be, like I look at some of my friends that I went to school with, because I did go up to grade 3 in a private girls' school in Cebu, St. Teresa's College.
Right.
And some of those, my kabatch, are now like the senator's wife or this and that. And,
Right.
I sometimes wonder what would have happened if we didn't move. But in short, from a very comfortable lifestyle with, servants and everything, here, my mom and dad, after the money ran out, had to take whatever job was there, except my dad also really made the decision to be a businessman. But my mom, and she was a professor back home. But I remember, people have to start from ground zero again, and, having to take menial jobs. And so I saw that, and I'm like, and, so it really puts things in perspective, right? That you don't want to be entitled, but at the same time, it's like if you've known that, if sometimes maawa ako sa mga kliyente ko, yung bagong dating dito na 2-3 jobs,
Right. Right.
just to make things, but back home they were a professional, right? That's the common kind of theme sometimes, among not just Filipinos but all immigrants who come here, right? So in short, that had a very strong effect on me, that, as much as possible, we need to have financial wellness, right? Because why should people settle for less? I see people who are working too much and they don't have quality of life, right? And they don't have time to spend with their relationships, with their children, their asawa, right? And so my childhood here was a wake-up call, because my parents both had to go to work. I became like a third parent to my younger brothers. I learned that, you must work, if you want anything to happen here.
Right.
Which is a good thing, right? Good work ethic.
Yes.
I don't know sometimes about the newer generations here, who've sometimes been spoon-fed, right? I know I'm not saying everybody,
Everyone,
but when you have that perspective of like having everything done for you, and then now you have to be the one doing everything, right? So
Right.
So there
And
has to be.
I'm assuming that has something to do with what you're doing now as a financial consultant.
Yes.
Is to help our fellow kababayans, or not just kababayans,
Yes.
whatever race, to
Yes.
it is quite I can relate to what you're saying when you see people work so hard,
Yeah.
and that they deserve quality of life too with what they
Yes.
do. They're well-meaning, they're hardworking, they have families, but they can't spend time with them anymore, and
Right.
it's kind of painful to see.
Yeah.
And if there's anything you can do for them,
Yeah.
right? And in this case, arm them with knowledge,
Yes.
and certain
Knowledge
tools.
and action.
Knowledge and
Yes.
action. The
Yes.
action comes from them,
Yes.
but you can give them the things that you know about,
Yeah.
right? What's your guilty pleasure?
Oh my gosh. I have a few. I won't share all of them. but one is, you know what? I love the movies. I love, at the end of the day, a couple of times a week, not always, because there's so much happening all the time. But I love to just, escape into beautiful movies. I love especially historical dramas, and sometimes it depends. I might be into an action film or whatever, but in my next life, hopefully, if I have time later, I would love to get into filmmaking. So I love film.
Favorite movie?
I love movies.
I know there's a lot.
Just last night, I went to see the new one. Hello Again, Hello Love Again. Yung part 2 of that story of Hello Love Goodbye. Another one is just traveling. As much as possible. I always budget for 1 or 2 trips a year because that's when you can just, unplug and immerse yourself in the country that you're in, or, the beach or whatever. My first major passion in life is music. And at an early age, I really loved to sing, play piano, had so many choir and musical theater experiences that, and with the help of amazing teachers, I've learned from some of the best. Like the late Eleanor Calbes. She was the first Filipina diva here in Canada who sang with the Canadian Opera Company. And then also in New York with Evelyn Mandak, who is a soprano, international soprano. I learned from her, and also Dr. Raul Sunico. He was the Dean of Music at UST. So when I used to go back and forth to the Philippines, so it's been a rich few years of my first part of my life.
If I may interrupt you right there, where did the love for music come from? Is it in the genes? Any one of your family members?
Definitely from my family, yeah. Most likely from my dad. He was a singer in Cebu as well.
Okay.
He sang on the radio. He did a lot of kind of Matt Monroe, Nat King Cole, jazz kind of stuff. And growing up at home with tons of music, and always we've been involved in our community, the churches that I have served at from youth until now, and
so even before leaving the Philippines, before you became 8 years old, you were already exposed to, I suppose, lots of records, vinyls being played.
Yes, exactly.
At home.
My lolo had a lot of classical music, actually. So I don't know where it came from, but in my generation, I think I was the only Filipina classically trained operatic singer with the Canadian Opera Company when I had that 4 to 5 years singing with the Canadian Opera Company. So I loved opera, I loved jazz, and of course growing up here in North America, we've got pop and R&B and all kinds of music. So it stays with me.
Pero ang galing because kasi intrinsic sa mga Pilipino ang pagiging malikhain.
Yes.
Hindi ba? And music is also intrinsic. Sabi nga nila, it's so hard to find a Filipino who cannot carry a tune, right? But of course, you're much more than that. You can much more than carry a tune. You were part of the Canadian Opera Company?
Yes.
How was your musicality honed? Like, did you go to a music school?
Yes.
Your parents were very supportive, I suppose, with
yes,
with
and
your love
for that
music.
I'm so grateful. Yeah. So, in the Philippines, I had already started with piano lessons, and then here we continued with piano first. Later, I took vocal. My mom encouraged me. She saw an ad in the paper, and it was just new at that time. There was an art school, like a school of performing arts in North York, called Claude Watson School of the
and it's still
of the
there.
Arts. It's still
I
here.
Still hear about this. Yeah, okay.
And that was an amazing creative breeding ground of so many creatives, who are now in film, dance, visual arts, and music and theater. So that was an amazing time, the high school. And my teachers really pushed me to take it as far as I could, including, pursuing it in university and then post-grad. So I went to opera school at University of Toronto, and also the Royal Conservatory of Music, and got my accreditation. So until now, I still have an affiliation with as a teacher, if I wish to teach, which I stopped a little bit long ago, but there is still that training that, I have helped younger generations as well to, I don't have any children of my own, but I've been so blessed to have the opportunity to mold younger people as well to have a career in music.
So that has been a major backbone in your entire life, music, no? And
for
you
sure.
have followed it. It's just so nice to hear that you pursued it in school and that was your degree in university.
Yes,
If
it
I'm not
wasn't always
mistaken, you
easy.
even had a scholarship. Did you have a?
I did. I had a scholarship to do an intrinsic, like focusing on German style of leader, and also Italian and French operatic aria training in Graz. This was with the American Institute of Musical Studies, which is an American-based foundation, but they have partnered with a city in Austria called Graz.
Yeah.
And there's a school there, a Studentenheim. And people from all over go there and train. And from there, people go on to have careers.
This is when you lived in Austria after university?
No, this was in between. In between.
Ang galing Ang naiisip ko kasi dito yung mga may ganitong hilig na mga batang Filipinos,
Yes.
no, who are into music.
Yes.
And maybe they just think it's a hobby or it's just something they love to do.
Yeah.
Tas ikaw meron ka pa ang classical pa yung leaning mo even when you were younger.
Right.
It's and a lot of maybe not a lot of those who have interest in music think that they can actually have a career out of it. No?
And I have to say, it's cultural. So in my own experience, it wasn't always easy. I insisted on doing this, and I didn't always agree, like have, peaceful moments with my parents. Because, it's typical that parents want you to be a lawyer or or doctor, something that's stable and, safe. But the arts, in my generation anyway, not everybody was encouraged, right? Because, of course, I think, as an adult now, I can see that, your parents wanted for you to have financial wellness, right? But being an artist, that's not always the number one priority is financial knowledge or anything like that. It's more on expressive,
Right.
Honing your capacities to be like an artist, whether you're musical or other kinds of artist. Your role is to comment on the human experience, right? And that is a different path than following what is safe, and it requires greater risk.
Right.
So I went against the grain. But then when they saw that I actually, finished with high honors, and then somehow, miraculously, thank God, it led to a well-paying job, I was so ecstatic when I first was accepted after auditioning for the Canadian Opera Company to do this for the next 4.5 years. And it was well-paying, right? So, you've heard the term starving artist.
Yeah.
Well, I know a little bit about that. I mean, you're not literally starving from food, but you do without certain things, because your focus is on, paying for expensive lessons, flying to an audition, outfits, you spend on your makeup, you spend on the recording process, things like that.
So the investment that you
The
have
investment
to put
of
in.
time and money into your craft is
What made you go on? Just the belief that I can do this, or I have a place in
it's
this.
the passion. It's just there's nothing that money can buy to
satisfy that.
right. There's nothing like being on stage and or doing a recording, and that you've touched people on a very
Right.
deep level.
Right.
And you make people happy, or this music reflects people's emotions, what they're going through. And well, it helps, of course, if you get paid to do that.
Of course, yeah.
and it's I guess, as we all know, the arts are not necessarily the most stable of professions. And so you go on doing it for the love of it, not necessarily because it pays the bills. So that's where, I mean, we can transition into this later or now, but at some point in my career, I realized that, perhaps I should also have a fallback because, my friends have started to get married, buy houses, buy cars, have children, have vacations, have savings, none of which I had, right? So it's like you start to think, well, you know what, maybe I should look into something that will also help me to carry on my financial obligations, and maybe I want to buy my own place, maybe
Right.
material considerations. It was never the first it's never been the highest priority. But we live on earth and we need to pay the bills and have a house and things like this. So
I learned you were from Cebu,
yes.
and that you sing Kundiman,
Yes.
and that you also have your album here. You have Christmas songs. You have how many albums have you made? Have you had?
Yes, so my own self-produced albums, I have 7, and then I was a guest on 2 other albums, and it's really overdue. I really would love to carve out some time in the new year to come up with another one. And these days, I don't know if people still buy CDs, but I have to look into the tech kind of thing and release I don't know, like an EP on Spotify or something like that. But yeah, so yeah, it's I need to carve out time for that. But yeah, it's been so it's a necessary kind of break, because when you focus on the second career, it requires a kind of a sacrifice of time, of being like blinders ganun, so that you achieve excellence in this field as well. So now we're in that phase where we're trying to balance it again. Yeah.
Nagtuturo ka ba? Do you teach now?
Yes.
Okay, like music?
Yes, I do
Okay.
have a couple of students. I've had to stop teaching as a
One-on-one. This is a one-on-one
Yes.
lesson. Okay.
I have a delightful young man that I'm coaching right now. He's of Irish background, and I've stopped teaching in as soon as I was more involved with family business, because it's just not fair. Like, if I'm not available to someone, but I have 1 or 2 people where I can still carve out time for them. And
I think this is the perfect time to ask
Yeah.
you to like maybe grace us with a song or like part of a song.
yeah,
Is that
sure.
okay?
Why not? And as I'm setting that up,
I'm gonna make you choose which one you'd like us to listen to.
What are you in the mood for?
Is this gonna be an original composition or?
Oh, I don't have background tracks for the original composition, so that one I'm gonna encourage people to look it up on YouTube. But what are you in the mood for?
I would like you to be the one to choose that, because something that
Yeah.
you'd want to sing for us.
Well, here's a nice easy one. So it's an autumn day and it's gray out there, and my voice is a little on the rough side because I've been having so many intense days. So I'm not going to sing anything too operatic today because
Okay.
I don't think I can reach those notes today. But here is a favorite, a classic one. Okay, and this is my own arrangement of "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." Okay.
There. Okay.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star and I'll wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you will find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? Yeah. And this was with my band. It's from one of my albums. The same guy is gonna play. We're doing a concert soon in December. Ooh la 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 la. Someday I wish upon a star and I'll wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles met like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you will find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
Awesome. Thank you. There's nothing like
Thank you.
listening to live music. No? Like, that's why I like watching in a small venue,
Right?
because you can feel the power of the voice. Like, the closer you are
Yeah.
to the artist, the singer, the musician, the more intense the effect, right? Thank you for that. I mean, it's always
Pleasure.
a gift to be able to listen and witness an artist's work. What are your most memorable performances?
Oh my gosh, there are many. So there were a couple of times when I sang for like two popes actually. So Pope John Paul, when he came to Downsview and World Youth Day, I was one of the soloists. I think that was the largest audience I've ever sung for, which were estimated to be about 800,000 people. When faith and music, a lot of people who are not religious, but they are artists, have often expressed that the practice of being a serious artist, musician or whatever, is like a religion. It's like because it's so intense.
Yes,
it's your
yes.
it's your connection to the creator.
Yes,
right.
you are so in touch with
Yeah.
like your divinity.
Right. And so that was a very beautiful moment. Another one was I was so fortunate to have been, people from the community here in Canada put my name as a recipient. Like they kind of rallied behind me so that I got an award, which was the Presidential Award of the Philippines for my music, the Pamana ng Pilipinas Award. So for that, I was invited to sing in Malacanang for then President Noynoy Aquino. And that was a beautiful experience where I was so proud to be and grateful to be awarded that for my country, the Philippines, and also as a Canadian. And I've always been happy to be a Filipino Canadian, right? So that was an honor. And oh my gosh, so many.
Yeah, I
There's
can
too
imagine.
many. Yeah.
How many languages do you speak?
Well, fluently, to be honest, I can carry on several conversations, the basics, with French, Italian, German, Polish, because I've been singing at this Polish church for over 15 years. And also as a Filipino, I speak Tagalog and Bisaya. And and I like to learn a little bit of something about every language, and it's a joy because we live in one of the best places on earth, which is Canada, which is Toronto actually, and New York is one of them as well. And
In terms of diversity,
in terms of how many cultures are here,
right,
and hopefully like coexisting peacefully, right?
right.
So I think it behooves us to learn about, as much as I love being Filipino and Canadian, we're also
That's
international people. We
That's
need
true.
to have connections to our brothers and sisters of so many different cultures, different races, different religious beliefs or no beliefs. But there
That's the thing also
Yeah.
about music, that it just connects people.
yeah.
Even if they don't understand the words you're singing. Like now I go to an African mass.
Yeah.
And the music is awesome and they're dancing while they're singing praises.
Love it. Yeah.
It's awesome. And after a while you'll pick it up. You'll pick
Yeah.
a few things up, maybe not fluently.
Yeah.
But so
That-
when did the financial aspect, at what age did you realize that, I have to be I have to balance it with the practical side, and what exactly did you do about it that led you to be a financial expert,
Yeah.
financial broker?
So it happened shortly after I lived in New York. I lived in New York for almost a year. And that was one of the most amazing times of my life as well. Through the patronage of a private donor, I didn't have to work for a few months, and I just did music and had lessons and did gigs and things like that. When the money ran out, that's when I'm like, oh my gosh. And I didn't even have the wherewithal to know the ins and outs, having a green card to stay in the States. This was after 9/11, when the Twin Towers fell
Right.
and the economy collapsed. And so it wasn't easy, for Canadians, let alone Americans, to get a job. So that's when I realized that, maybe I have to go home and look at something else. And that's when a friend of mine, a musician friend, approached me saying, Lilac, I started a new career and let me talk to you about insurance. And I'm like, what? And he tried to sell me insurance. And at first I was like, naawa ako sa kanya. I said, thank you though, but we're well covered because my father, as soon as we came to Canada, he was always in insurance. He had a team, he had an agency. So he and his compadres created a family business, which, that's all they did. I never paid any attention.
Oh, so your
But then-
father has or had a financial business?
Yes. It was an
Okay.
agency mainly selling life insurance and some
Okay.
investments. And that's when I started to think, I never in a million years would I have thought of that, right? But the fact that a friend of mine who's an amazing musician is now
Transitioned,
looking
right.
for something else to support his family. And he said, well, okay, I understand if you don't need insurance, that's fine. How about you? Could you see yourself doing this? If I can do it, you can do it. So he introduced me to his company, and that's when I said, you know what, maybe, because when you're a musician and you're gigging all the time and you're making your living mainly from gigs and teaching, right? And teaching can be sufficient, but it's very touch and go. Sometimes someone will be with you for a year or a few months, and then tapos na. Then you have to maghahanap ka ng iba, and sometimes people quit and stuff like that. So I'm like, I need something more steady. So that's when I started to pay attention, and I said, I'll give it a try. So that's when I
Did you have to train? You had to get certifications, of course.
Yes.
Right?
So I studied for a full month, and I got my license as a financial advisor in. Sorry, I shouldn't say advisor. A financial associate in the province of Ontario. And that's anything to do with insurances and investments. I also had my mutual fund license. So that was a total about face. So that happened after New York when I came back. And I said, yeah, maybe I should
How
try
did that
something
feel?
else.
Like learning a different set of
It was a huge
lessons.
challenge.
Like this is financial. This is very, very structured.
There are some similarities because music is math. Math is behind music. The relationship between the notes, the intervals. Music has math
rhythm,
in it.
correct.
Yeah, rhythm. And it has structure too. We have sonatas, we have the song structure, we have, of course, it's when I first got into the numbers, it was really daunting. And it's like, oh, I don't think like this. This is very left-brained. I'm more right-brained, right? But in the end, when, as years went on and I still kept my license and I got better at what I do, I'm so thankful that I have had the training of being a musician, being an artist, being sensitive to people's emotions, nuances, that it's like an added bonus of skill that I bring when I'm dealing with my clients, right? There is a creative element in financial planning and financial wellness. Every time we meet a person, we have those soft skills already, right? How to listen to them, how to create a plan or a portfolio that suits this individual with their particular set of circumstances.
It's funny how all these life skills that we accumulate just prepares us for something, and you only see it when you're there. Like, oh,
Right.
And that's what makes each and every one unique, right? Like, you can have 5 different financial brokers,
Right.
with very different backgrounds, so they
Yes.
will have very different sensitivities to each of the clients. So you all bring different things to the table. Any tips in that aspect, like in terms of financial freedom?
Yeah. Well, I think that everybody should be open to it first. The greatest obstacle in this career that I've been licensed for 20 years is hindi gusto makinig,
Oh yeah.
right? There is a resistance because no one wants to talk about death or illness or bankruptcy or these are the fears that people need to overcome. So first of all, just to be open to it, because if you have a good financial broker looking after you and you really listen to the options that are available, because see, this is the saying, you do not know what you do not know. So first of all, we have to be open to receive good information and good structure, right? After having tried so many different companies, I'm just really happy that I'm with a company that I can truly plant my flag with, which is Experior Financial. And it does make a difference who you are aligned with. And the processes that we have in this company are helping to change people's lives.
Because what would be the difference in a nutshell?
First of all, it's always compliance. It's always doing what is best for the client, not only offering one solution or one way, one size fits all. So first we have what we call the expert financial analysis. Each person has a different set of circumstances
Right.
than someone else. So before you can even offer them insurance or investments, you first have to do a full analysis of them. So that
Where
is
they
our
are,
that
what's
is
their-
process.
yeah.
We do that complementary. In other companies, if you walk into for example, a Wood Gundy or something like that, that process would be, you have to pay for that. But with us, we offer it complementarily. So then the next steps would be the recommendations in each of the areas of proper protection, freedom from debt, and freedom, like financial freedom, as in investments. So all those 3 aspects are holistically put together. So that's the difference, I think. It's that we have the center of our, you know, purpose is to help the client and what is best for them. It's not the other way around. It's not about the product, but it's about the client. And
Right.
because we have a wealth of products, we have over 29 different companies in the insurance world and over 30 companies in the investment world, both in Canada and the United States. We can certainly offer so Experior means expert advice, superior solutions. So I can truly stand behind that. And I mean, I don't talk badly about any other company. There's amazing things about all of them, but having tried a few of them, and I'm landed here now since 2018, I can truly say that we have the tools to help empower people to make better choices and to really live their dreams.
You mentioned earlier one of the major hurdles is not being open to hearing the things you don't want to hear about, like death or debt.
Yes.
Or all the things that might be taboo in terms of what we talk
Yeah.
about in the dinner table, perhaps.
Yes.
What are the other things you think that people should or at least maybe let's zero down on Filipino immigrants, for example. What other things do you think they should be more open to be able to achieve financial freedom?
The first one is, I think, to change the mindset from being an employee to being an entrepreneur. We need Filipinos to be more risk takers. I know we're just so, I think it's the colonial thing, you know, how many generations have we been put under by, you know, the conquerors, right? Well, we're free now. So
Breaking news. We are
right?
free
Right?
now.
Like several centuries later. So first of all, like as in terms of being a business owner, you have more choices. So I'm not only offering services, but I'm also offering people to have a chance to maybe do this as a business for themselves, either on a part-time basis or a full-time basis. So, I mean, there's many
Right,
opportunities out there, but this is one opportunity where truly you can make a living because there is money in money. So that's the first, is to change the mindset of being just an employee to being a business owner. Okay. The second is, of course, you must help yourself first. Fix your own house before you can do things for others. You know, people need the right insurances. People need to save for retirement, because the government is not going to help us when we're not working anymore or if we get sick, right? And third, you know, get a will and power of attorney. Just this morning, which before this interview, I was dealing with a family. The person passed away without a will, and so magulo, right? Afterwards. So just get your ducks in order first.
Give us a picture now of the whole package, the musician Lilac and the financial broker Lilac. How does that merge together now? How is your day like? How does it happen?
Yeah. Well, one of my mentors said, there really isn't life balance. It's more about focus. Okay. I mean, we strive for work-life balance, but if you want excellence, it's always going to be like that. It's not going to be equal, right? So it's more like, what is your focus now? So I would say that I'm in my stage of my life right now, I would say that 70% is devoted to the family business, 30% to music, right? But those 30% is very intense, and it's very focused. And the 70% of my, you know, time and effort that I give to my clients is also creative and is also very focused and structured as well. So with that, there is a balance. Okay. So
How is a typical day for
a
you?
typical day. So this morning, I usually get up around either between 6:30, 6 to 7. I start with morning affirmations and prayer and a bit of exercise. So stretching muna, kasi I don't rush into, like, you know, too much, you know. I have a dog. So the walking the dog is like my cardio.
Yeah.
And then I have breakfast. And then during the breakfast, I usually have my mass, like my online mass. And then I ease into the day. My first meeting might be at 9, which these days, thankfully, Zoom, Zoom. So I have a client maybe out in London, Ontario, or in a different time zone in Calgary. So it works, right? And then MWF, I'm at my physical office because we're now hybrid post-COVID, right? And I do believe that there is something necessary about getting out of the house and going to a different place. I couldn't work from home all the time. I think I would go crazy. And then the other days I do work from home, which is very, comforting as well, because you can get a lot done, when you're, but not too comfortable, because there are times when you really just have to not be distracted by the comforts, right? So, and then on the weekend, that's when usually, of course, I have my church gig. I've been playing and singing at a Polish Catholic church. So one mass is English, the other mass is in Polish. And we have like an international congregation. So it's really interesting. So that's Sunday mornings up until 12. So Saturdays it's a combination of meeting with clients and events, community events, because I'm out in the community. I'm part of different organizations like, Filipino Canadian organizations in the GTA. Several.
Yeah. In fact, that was where I met Lilac. We were in an event together for the Filipino community, mostly. And what struck me about you when I met you, there was this voice that was so pleasant to the ears. There was a pull with your voice. That I think that's your gift.
Thank you.
I think you know that already by now. And you smile a lot. And I like that. Anything else that you want to share with our audience before we wrap it up?
I'm so thankful to you, Cherry, for this wonderful moment. I didn't expect what happened, but I'm just sharing, my life experiences. I'm there for you guys. I have a concert coming up on December 7th. And also my company is expanding. If you are looking for a little plug here, if you're looking for a part-time gig to have extra income for the holidays or for the new year, you're looking for a change, we are hiring and training the right candidates in our business to help you live your dreams to the fullest.
Thank you so much, Lilac. It's
Thank you.
Pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome.
This last hour was great. Thanks for coming. And we wrap up another episode of our podcast. We'll see you again next week.